Greetings to you all, and shalom to those of you who are saints. I welcome you to this broadcast. It is my hope that you can hear me clearly and that you can also see clearly, so please indicate whether you can both see and hear me clearly so that I can speak to what I consider to be a very critical matter. We are, as a people, we are sinking to depths that are, thank you Denise, thank you for the feedback. We're sinking to a place that we should really, by all means, seek to get ourselves out of. I sit here being very concerned and troubled about that which my son and my daughters, our nation's children, would be forced to inherit if we do not do something about it. Though there would be a very slim opportunity or chance of there being anything that's different, of there being any change, there would always be a record that I spoke and others would have spoken. Most important to me is the record of at least one or others who would have sought to do something instead of folding our arms and doing nothing, or instead of saying things privately. Somebody said there's no sound. Let me know, please. Neil Williams, you may have to leave and exit and re-enter. Is there anyone else who's not hearing me? Because I got the all clear from Denise. Let me see if there's someone else who will say they're not hearing. Are we good with the sound? So, someone please type advising you to leave, to exit, and return into on the platform. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Neil. If you don't mind, you can share the broadcast with someone, let them know we're here so we can have this conversation. Because this conversation is necessary. I would like to submit to you that my addressing you here today goes miles beyond Vanessa and the PNC. Way beyond Vanessa Kassoon, PNC, PPP, and Nasi Fredericks with Darmlau's story. It goes way beyond all of that. What I'm speaking to you about encompasses it all, but it goes beyond it all. I'm sincerely troubled, but quite unsurprised, by the deafening silence from the Jesus preachers, from the imams, and from the pundits. You people seem to be quite okay with what Guyana has become. Or the Jesus crew. I know you all would be in your closets, as you would say, you'll be praying. You'll be in some background somewhere and you're praying, you're doing things quietly. Hush, you're just wimps and chickens. You cannot speak to justice. Yeshua HaMashiach was never silent and quiet anywhere when it came to injustice, because he came to fulfill the law and the prophets. I'm not here to preach to you today, but I'm here to let you understand why I deal with these people, why I deal with them. If Messiah came to fulfill the law and the prophets, then Yeshua could not be quiet about injustice, since in the law and the prophet it spoke to the fact that righteousness cannot be spoken in silence. You cannot ever stand up for the cause of the poor and the needy in silence. Hush, you are a chicken, you're a wimp, and some of you are just outright sissies. You're soft. There is no scripture that encourages you to be quiet where injustice is ever experienced. Never. So in his circle, when Messiah Yeshua would have been speaking to or dealing with the unjust Pharisees, he wasn't quiet, because he couldn't be quiet in dealing with the hypocritical Pharisees and Sadducees. He was never quiet in the face of the high priest because they were unjust. When he spoke to if somebody takes a cloak, you should, and stuff like that, and you should give them your robe instead, the coat, give them the cloak instead. He was speaking to them about unjust matters. I don't know where you preachers get this notion from, that with all that's happening to our people, even our teachers, mainly a predominantly female vocation, teaching in Guyana is predominantly female. More than 95% of our teaching complement in this nation happen to be females. More than 98%. And you sick bastards will be quiet when an administration is terrorizing and being most unjust to females. It tells me quite a bit about what, because the preaching fraternity in Guyana happens to be mainly men. And it's interesting to know that. In the church, the preachers are mainly men. More than 90% are men. In the classrooms, more than 98% are women. The men who have the right to speak for justice and speak to that which is unjust are quiet. When in the richest country in the world per capita, the world, not in the region, has got teachers squabbling, begging, pleading, fighting, doing all that they can to earn a livable wage. And what is most sickening about this whole situation is that the politicians who make these decisions, they are earning almost $1.8 million per month. Teachers on average earn less than, or just about 10%, a tithe, as the old wicked rats who rob people their money would say. Teachers earn, most females in this country who teach would earn about 10% of what Premanchan is paid. And these dogs would have the mind to say, you would not get what you're asking for, which is not $1.8 million. And you preachers are quiet. However, though I digress, it was necessary for me to do so. I speak to this matter about why did she take so long, quote unquote. Why now? When women come forward, girls come forward to say that when I was 16, when I was 8, when I was 10, I was sexually molested. Some may say I was raped. In the case of Kissoon, she said that Norton raised his pant leg and showed her a weapon. That's what her accusation was. And asked her, what would you do if I stop this car and rape you? That's what Vanessa Kissoon said. Norton did not do anything after she said, well, you have to kill me, and of course with the expletives or the profanity-laced response. The question became, why now? Why it took so long? This is where I have a concern. I saw this happen with the PPP, where PPP, People's Progressive Party supporters, have come out to say, why you took so long to talk about Dharmlal? All these years have passed and you now want to talk about Dharmlal. Unfortunately, PNC supporters have come out now. So even now, the girls with Dharmlal, so they weren't supporting the PPP as far as I'm aware. They weren't faces of the PPP. They weren't councillors in the PPP. They were not members of parliament. So Vanessa's case is even worse because she was a member of parliament. She is a councillor. She is a councillor in the local government arena here in the municipality of Linden. And as a councillor, a party member holding a party card, the question comes to her, why did you take so long? I am bothered by these questions. And I'm here to ask anyone who asks that question, and don't be quick to answer, when is the right time for a woman to say, that she was sexually assaulted, she was raped, she was sexually harassed. Please tell me, how long after an incident would have transpired should a woman come forward to say what has happened to her, or a girl? Because it seems as if some of you have got a timeline. Some of you have got the exact date and time after which this trauma is experienced that she must come out and talk. Is it immediately after? Do you give the person a 1 month window? Do they have a 6 month period? Do they have a 1 year period? How long after female experiences harassment or rape, how much time is she afforded before she comes forward to say anything? Now this question normally comes from people who've never been raped, who've never been sexually harassed or sexually traumatized. Because if you understand the trauma associated with being sexually harassed, be careful. It is not an easy thing. Now, this may not be going in the direction some of you want it to go, but it is not an easy thing for a woman, for a girl, in Guyana society, in many societies of the world, to say anything. What is even worse is when a man pops up to say something about a woman's trauma when she never told him to say anything. I'm having a conversation with you this morning. I'm reading your comments because it's important for us to have this conversation. It's important for us to have this conversation because many of you are not privy to what I'm aware of. Many of you have not had interaction with people as I would have. And so you may be, and I'm happy to share your viewpoint. The general thought would be, listen, as soon as somebody does something to you, you should say it. That's the easiest thing to say. But is it the easiest thing to do? Do you understand that given what now is our reality, where we have a social media world, a world that is so vicious, this world in which we found ourselves, this social media universe, is unlike the world of old, whereby you had to make a dial phone. You had to pick up the phone and dial the wire line, and the phone would have to ring on the other side, and you couldn't have a three-way call. You were bound to speaking to one person, and then that person may have to call another person, then they go around and talk. In this world that we found ourselves, people can reach, as I am, thousands of individuals, maybe millions of individuals at one moment. And you've got the opportunity to see responses from thousands of people in that instant about how they feel about you and your situation. This is not an easy world in which we found ourselves. Because where there may be an expectation of support, there is the reality of condemnation. I would say again for emphasis that I have a serious issue with any man who, without a female's permission, he pops up and throws her whole this report out there. I further have in this society an issue with any man who then goes and says, the accused, come and talk, make a statement, or you are equally as guilty as Gomes or the man. And then when the person says it, he called the female, and the female says, okay, then since you want me to talk, I'll talk. The world says, you're wrong for talking. Now hold on. Do not attach a face to the situation. That's why I will always tell you all who are close to me, and those of you who know me from social media, who may follow I tell you all the time, I don't stand for people. The worst thing that you can ever do in your life, and some of you fall into the same trap right now, do not ever stand for people in this life. Stand for principles. When you stand for people, when you stand for Norton, or you stand for PNC, you stand for PNC. That is your problem. Those who stand for PVP, it doesn't matter what Dharmlal does. Because Dharmlal is one of we stand for Dharmlal. It is a disease. You don't, if you are a person in this life who understands the value of standing for principles, then whoever is wrong is still wrong. Whoever is right is still right. It doesn't matter who. But the minute you become tainted, poisoned, contaminated by the thought that you should stand for your party's leader at all costs, you are already poisoned. So I could talk, because that's why I told you, I could talk as freely as I want to talk. I don't have a desire for PNC to win. I don't have a desire for PDP to win or lose. I have a desire for my country to be governed in a good, proper, decent, and healthy manner. So I'm not speaking to this about Vanessa Kissoon. I'm speaking to this in as a life principle. If a woman comes forward 30 years after she's been raped, she came forward. And what bothers me is when people would look at when she came instead of what was done. Once you see y'all make raping a woman and a man, I'm not saying Norton did it. I'm speaking in general. If a man goes beyond saying, I will rape you, to the point where he exhibits a weapon that could kill the person, say, what you do if I take this gun and pull it to your head and rape you? If that is a conversation that's ever had, I don't care if it's Norton, if it's Irfan Ali, if it's Bar Jagdio, if it's Desmond Hoyt, well, he's dead, if it's Granger, I don't care who you are, if it's the Pope, I don't care who you are, not golf playing Pope, I don't care who you are. As long as a man, I don't care what party you're from, I don't care what strata of society you are in. If as a man you step up to that degree of decadence, of sickness, mentally, if you do that to a woman, and she takes 10 years to come forward, my question to you would be, why did you, sir, not take the time within the 10-year period to apologize, to repent, to conduct yourself in a manner that shows her extreme remorse? That would be my question. Because if over that period of time you never came to the victim to seek mercy, it tells me that you're not a different person. You are a savage beast who should be killed. I'm not talking about Norton. I'm talking in general. If a man could rape a woman and 30 years could go by and he doesn't, during that 30-year period, he doesn't go to her to seek mercy, oh. Don't ask me why she took so long to talk. Ask me why he took so long to say he's sorry. At least the report we got about Darren Lawless, he said the devil made him do it, which doesn't make any sense to me. At least he tried something to say the devil made him do this after he was told, according to the reports, that this thing is out here now and you're about to be, your ship is about to be sunken. Oh, all right. The devil made me do it. I'm so sorry. People, it is insensitive And it is unfortunate that when a female comes out with a story that Vanessa never came out with anything, when a woman's rape or sexual trauma is brought to the table, I don't care how many years have passed, it's unfortunate that people would say that you should have said something before. It is not as easy as that. One of the lingering questions in the mind of every victim that I would have interacted with is, would people believe me? And that question is based on the position, societal position of the perpetrator, of the accused, of the one who committed the act. The higher one is in reference to societal circles, the less likely a female is to say he raped her. Because the trauma is worsened when a woman or a girl says, I was raped by this man, and society says, no, because they start thinking, oh, I get a lot of money from him. He gives us a lot of perks. He comes and he paints my house, and he bought us a car, and he did this and he did that. And when they begin to highlight their benefits from the person, from the man who would have raped the woman, the victim is made to feel that you are about to stop my soup. You won't stop my sip. You can't stop my money from flowing. So I don't believe you. The trauma of being doubted when one comes forward to speak to their pain, it's not a good thing. No woman, no girl, no boy should ever have the experience of coming forward with something of any nature that speaks of sexual harassment, abuse of this nature, rape, and people say, you should have come and said something before. Y'all don't do that. Ask the man or woman who committed the act of rape or sexual tyranny, ask them, why did you not come forward within the 10-year period to say, listen, I have a confession to make. I raped somebody 5 years ago and I'm sorry. Have you ever seen a man do that? Y'all come and talk to me this morning. Have you ever seen, over a 30-year period, a man come forward? How often do you see that? And say, listen, I can't rest. 5 years ago, I raped a little girl and I'm so sorry. Have you seen that? Oh, but when the girl becomes 15 or 16 or 17 or 20, and she's not a woman, she says, somebody raped me 20 years ago. You should have said something before. I'm asking you, why did the rapist not say something before? Can we have the conversation? Can you tell me why it is on the victim to say that she was raped and not on the aggressor, the rapist, to say, I am sorry for raping somebody? Well, let me help you, please. A man who doesn't come forward to confess that he raped somebody 10 years ago is a man who knows that the penalty for raping is so dangerous, so terrible. The consequences are so severe in some societies you are killed. So he considers that I have too much of a high price to pay if I confess. Therefore, I shall leave the victim to suffer while I remain silent. And some of you think that that's okay, because the burden is on the victim to talk. Huh? Right, Stacy, I'm getting to that as well. Do you know that in church, they will tell you that you have to forgive the man who raped you, because God, you wouldn't grow in Jesus. You wouldn't go far in Jesus. Even if the man doesn't come and tell you sorry that he's sorry, you have to forgive him, you have to release it. And the women will surround you and put oil on your head, and they'll go, I release you in Jesus' name. Release it. And you are forced to say, I forgive him, I forgive the man, I release the rape. Listen to me, y'all stop that crap. Stop that filth. And if I weren't a preacher, I would tell you what else it is. Stop it. If that man does not come to confess that he is wrong, you don't forgive him. You hold it to your heart. Because he has the right, according to Scripture, to come to you to seek mercy. And it is up to you to show it. You don't release anybody who raped you if they haven't come to seek mercy. And they have to show that they are indeed remorseful. But I want to ask of you, since you have the view that Vanessa just popped up after Norton asked her to speak. Now, I told you before, Vanessa and there's a conflict of interest because Vanessa, I know her, she knows my family, she lived in my house before. But I don't pick, I don't defend, I do not support people. I support principle. And in principle, for me, I don't expect any grown woman to have to sit and read anything to recount to them in terms of rape of a man. No, you're not, this didn't happen when you were 2 years old. So the optics of it is bad. And the devil is in the details. One report said that it was from Georgetown to Linden. Your report is from Linden to Georgetown. So where did it happen? Who knows? At the end of the day, it has to go beyond Vanessa. It has to go beyond Anasi Fredericks. It has to go beyond anybody. It has to come to a place whereby we're going to address what is being said and how unconscionable, insensitive, and dangerous it is. You need to... we can't tell a woman when she has to talk. When it comes to politics, as they say, gutter politics, I don't play it. Because you all need to have a limit. I tell you this. You have to have a limit, for heaven's sake. You have to have a limit, man. You can't bring this thing down to people being raped and being sexually harassed. And in this case, her life was threatened if the report is true. If somebody says to you, listen, a man showed me a gun and say, what if you'll do if I put his gun to your head? Listen to the statement that was recounted. Whether it's true, I'm not dealing with that. I'm dealing with what was said. If you have a report that's now viral of somebody saying, a man told me that, what would I do if he puts a gun to my head? One, if he showed you the weapon, and says, what would you do if I put this weapon to your head and rape you? If a female says that, for heaven's sake, this can't be about PNC. It cannot be about PPP. It cannot be about church. It can't be about Jesus. It has to be about, this is a matter in which somebody's life was threatened. If the person would have said, I went to someone and spoke to my confidants and I said what happened to me, the person spoke. The confidant, don't miss what was said, the confidant should have said to the person, well, let's take you to the party's leader. And more than that, if I were the party leader, I tell you to your face, I am not a policeman. I don't investigate threats to kill anybody or threats to harm anybody. That is not the PNC's role. Let's go to the police. The confidants, because you're only getting to those people. Whoever she said she would have spoken to, y'all should have been the ones who encouraged her to go to the police. And say, you have our support. We will support you. No, you wait until this man becomes the leader of a party. The leader of a party. Which elevates him societally. Now is everybody trying to climb up? Oh, if we do this now, we'll hurt the PNC. Your timing is off. According to the Bohemian Law, for example, if a child, anybody who's under 18, or I think it's under 18, if a child goes to a teacher, that's a law in the Bahamas, and I love it, and says to the teacher, I was raped, listen to me, y'all. According to the law of the Bahamas, the teacher has to, you can't tell the child this is between me and you, I won't tell anybody. According to the law of the Bahamas, you have to report it. You don't have a choice. Or the teacher goes to jail. If it's a preacher, any child who goes to an adult and tells the adult, this has happened to me, the law states that that adult must report it. Not keep it to your chest and don't tell anybody. I love that law because it gives the law an opportunity to work as quickly as possible. In Guyana, someone would have said, or females would say, that they went to tell somebody about the situation. Did the somebody say to you, let's go to the police? Let's go to this person? Or did somebody ask certain significant questions? For example, did you have a cell phone? Yes, I had a cell phone. Why didn't you pick up the cell phone and call somebody? The person may say, well, I was afraid because maybe he showed me his gun. I didn't want him to kill me. Okay, when you got out of the car, did you have a cell phone? Did you have the means of getting to any telecommunication device? Did you have means of going to the police station? So if you were threatened in this manner, why did you not? You see? You could begin to ask certain questions to ascertain the validity of a report. Because the other side to this coin is you should never as a person believe. I tell you again, don't stand for people, stand for principles. You don't sit and hear a report and say immediately, I believe you. Yeah, I believe you because I know the man, I know he's guilty. You do not do that. So can we ask those in whom, according to that situation, confidence was placed, and the individual said, I told you. Can we ask those people why they did not come forward? I know I was of view, for one, the executive body of that political group has a right to determine what image they want the party to be presented by. They don't have the right to render Norton guilty or innocent because they're not a court of law. They have the right to determine from the party's perspective, what would we do? If it's a church, you have the right to determine from the church's perspective, and I tell you what y'all do. Y'all know me tell people in the church, oh, let's pray for you and forgive. If it's pastor, oh, we have to forgive pastor. If pastor rape you, then, or pastor's son rapes you, oh, we can't, this would look bad. This is not a good image for the church. If the imam's son rapes you, it's not good. We give you some money, and we pay some money, and whoever is, or the church give money, whoever give money, or we give some money, because this wouldn't look good. This wouldn't look good for the church and for the mosque, or for the temple, for the mandir. No! We can't have pandit son like that. And society has sunken so low that you are prepared to protect an image rather than defend justice. That is what my issue is. Are you prepared to defend justice? I further bring this closer to you. If your child, your daughter comes to you today, she's 25 years old, and she says to you, Mommy, let me speak to you females. Mommy, when I was 10, Uncle, I got funny name, because let me call it name, because call some name, somebody get offended. The girl comes to you, your child, your own child comes to you today. Say, Mommy, when I was 10 years old, Uncle buggered me. Uncle put his penis in me as a 10-year-old, and Uncle raped me viciously while I was at him for holiday. And Uncle told me if I tell anybody, he's going to kill me. She's now 25 years old. Would you, the mother who's on this broadcast, tell me to my face that you tell your child, well, why you come now? I don't believe you. Why it take so long to come forward? You wait till your uncle is about to be elected president to come and talk? Is that what you would do? Come and tell me, please. Y'all come to the front of the class and tell me what you would do. Would you treat your daughters the way you treat Vanessa Kissoon? Or Anasi or anybody else? And I have some serious issues with Anasi because Anasi didn't come forward and say, well, after all this time I'm saying this. You gone, according to the police report, according to Aliak, you through somebody issued some statement to say that they want any further action to be taken. And then you got the guts to go and do some video saying that Darnell was set up and all the kind of crap. Listen here. Anasi is a different fish. But I want y'all to come and be honest with me. If your daughter comes to you at a 25 or 30-year-old woman and says, Uncle buggered me when I was 10 years old, will you say to her, why you come now? You took too long to talk. And if the uncle happens to be Aubrey Norton, would you tell your daughter you want to mess up the party? You don't want the party to go, this party to win the election? That's it, poor Tom. She is a coffin indeed. Would you? Huh? If my child comes to me, let me just make an announcement to y'all, and my child tells me that anybody raped her 15 years ago, you better hope I can't walk. You better hope she tells me when I'm incapacitated. I don't want to know why you took so long to tell me. I am going to find the person, and you got to give an account to me. I don't care how much time has elapsed. I care about why you didn't make this right before. We dive further into this. I have asked for the law of Guyana to change. I have asked for the law of Guyana to change. Hear me. I have made a request for there to be constitutional change, and I hope there is one. That because of the penalty that is attached to raping a woman in this country here, listen to me. Any female who falsely accuses a man of raping her should be sentenced to life just as the man would be. If the sentence for a man is 80 years in jail, a woman who falsely accuses a man must be sentenced to 80 years in jail. Y'all don't like these things when I say it, because some of you don't like justice. But I believe in justice. It is my heart's conviction that if a man is going to be sentenced to 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, life imprisonment for raping a child, then any child who lies about a man, you must be subjected to the same penalty. And I bet you the woman won't be up around here playing around with people's lives. We're not going to be playing this game here. Women must not be allowed to just freely say, oh, yeah, man, yeah, he raped me. And that's it? Then my whole life is now hell trying to prove myself to be innocent? Well, if I'm deemed to be innocent, you have to be guilty of lying about me, raping you, and you need to go to jail. Because our society has empowered women to have the means of destroying a man's life in this country and getting away with it. Do we want to be fair? Do we wish to be fair-minded? Are we going to be fair? And in this situation that is so prevalent and has taken so much that you all forgot that the US said that we were robbed as Guyanese people of close to $140 billion. You all forgot the US just said they have a preponderance of evidence that the government officials are corrupt and they're robbing us. It's amazing that the timing of certain events in this country is so perfect. So perfect. Something happens, before we even get a chance to deal with that matter the way it should be dealt with, boom, something else pops up and we just forget about that. We move on to something else. So our teachers have been, for 2+ months, fighting for justice to eat bread and feed their children. Jagdio has been on record saying that we're appealing the case. He is so adamant about appealing because he wants to cut teachers' pay because they were on strike. Something else pops up. So we forget about teachers. You don't matter anymore. You don't count anymore. Something else pops up. Now the US comes up to say, hey, This is what we found. And that bona fide, certified, semi-literate one who sits in the seat of a president yesterday at the press conference, I watched it. And again, Irfan Ali is making me feel that I'm sorry to be a Guyanese. I'm kind of concerned as to why I was born here, but Yahweh knows why he put me here. This man is a disgrace and a certified failure. You have no sense. Imagine you sitting there saying, when asked the question, okay, you were told, you were advised that you need to have upgraded security because during the whole election fiasco, you were told, you said that they advised you that you have to have security. So you chose to defend being ridden in the Mohammed's armored vehicle. Buddy boy, like you don't have sense. The fact that you can defend, first of all, the Mohammeds protecting you, and the US say they corrupt. What does it say about you? You don't have any sense. Up until the day you were sworn in, you claimed that you were using the armored vehicle. So how we got photographs of you and him standing together at your inauguration? Like you don't got sense. But you cannot distance yourself because of how deeply you were involved in reference to the interaction. Then the 28-year-old man, I got a broadcast for you, Irfan. Believe me, you might as well tell Eve Levy to monitor me as you're monitoring me now, because I got a broadcast for you specifically. You have the guts to ask a 28-year-old man in our country, oh, you apply for house lot? How the hell? You think everybody like you? 19 fraud charges that DPP dropped from you. I haven't dropped them. I am waiting for you. I have a special broadcast for you. You feel everybody had your opportunities. Everybody had a chance to do what the law never freed you. The court of law never. The court of law never tried you and said you're innocent. The DPP, who's a Muslim like you, decided they discontinued the case. 19 fraud charges you have to face for defrauding us. And you could ask that 28-year-old young man why, if he has a house. What the hell is wrong with you? You think everybody has it like you are? You think Jag your hand, pick everybody, put him in a position like you did? Like he did you? Oh, you're a member of parliament, you're minister responsible for housing and all the rest of it. You think everybody has your fortune? But let me talk about my females in this country, because I'm waiting for you. You are the most senseless leader this country has ever had. And you don't lead me. You pay to lead, but you do not lead me. You cannot. There's nobody like you, I tell you that. You, Norton, none of y'all could lead me. Not one of y'all. Like we got some curse of leadership. If you're stupid, you're weak. It's one, either or the other. Either you're just grossly stupid, or you're just immensely weak. We are cursed with this weakness in this country. When it comes to leadership, that's why people are trying their best to climb and just find a way to defend who they think is better. Like we have a curse, man. Like we can't have a leader with sense and dignity in this country. You're either stupid or you're weak. It's either you can't read properly or could read properly, but you're weak. What happened to Guyana? What is wrong with us? The PNC, y'all are supposed to have a joint press conference, because like some of y'all don't have sense. The executive body, not a man to pop up and issue some statement. You need to have a joint press conference. Y'all should have had a meeting a long time ago. And you sit at the table, all of y'all, as a central executive body, say, listen, this matter here is beyond the PNC. This image being presented here is not good for the PNC. And what is being done to a female, not in the PNC, a female in general, is unacceptable in our society. We should not seek to destroy anybody who seeks to report this matter, let the matter be dealt with. Here's the catch. So you then bring Vanessa to the fore now. Do you wish to have this matter dealt with by the law enforcement? If she says no, then the matter is certainly, in my view, it would be given a whole new twist in terms of life here. Because you give her the opportunity to say, as a public figure, as one who is a counselor representing people, as one who she would have said, rightly so, she's a woman's rights activist, so you have a right to show women how they should function under these situations here. Come forward and tell the women what to do. Be the example. You can't be a women's rights activist and not be an example to the women. Tell them how to deal with the situation. Do we involve law enforcement? Well, here's the problem. How do policemen deal with an investigation whereby one woman says, he showed me a gun and said, what will you do if I put a gun to your head and rape you? And the man said, I never did that. In this situation, even if we go before the court, the devil is found in the details. That's what will happen. Okay? The devil will be found in the details. And the details are dangerous because Eglon Gomes' statement said that Sharma asked Norton to drop Vanessa to Linden. And Vanessa's report was that Vanessa never said a word about Sharma. Vanessa said Norton offered to take her from Christianburg Cemetery, which is Linden, to Georgetown or to the city, wherever she was. The devil is in the details. And once you have such varying, the most simple thing is, where were you? Where did it start? You can't remember. And whoever can't remember where they started, was it Georgetown where the vehicle started, or Linden? You don't forget that. So once you have a case whereby there's no evidence of anybody, and she said he never carried out his desires. So whatever desire was, he never carried out. So the problem becomes, how do you prove? How do you even have a chance to prove now what happened? You know how you have a chance to prove what happened? Although it's not acceptable in reference to law, it's not accepted. I don't think Guyana accepts that. You do what they did to the policemen. Remember that? Remember when same thing. Oh, you're all innocent? When they took the senior police officials and say, come. Electrodes, lie detector. Come and answer these questions. Oh, and Guyanese senior police officers failed miserably. They took bribes. They lied. That's how you deal with the situation. If we want to put it to rest, let's put it to rest then. If not, call it for whatever it is on either side of the fence. But how Norton just suddenly you gone quiet? You are on Eglon Gomes' page. I'll sue you. There's no such truth to this. And you hop and start talking from the moment this thing came out. Then you did a video. You did a video to say, oh, you challenged Vanessa to come and talk. Okay. Then she spoke. Then you go on quiet. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, Aubrey. Because you created this storm based on your response. This will not just quietly vanish into thin air. So I'm leaving you all now. I have to go and I have to get my day continued. But I'm asking you to detach yourself from political sentiments and see things for what they are. I'm talking in general. If a woman says, or a female or a male said that they were harassed, raped, or anything by anybody, don't tell them they should have said it right away. That is not your right because it's not you. And what you would do when you have not had the experience is quite different from what you do when you have the experience. There are many who say they will do many things until they have an opportunity to do it. We cannot say that Vanessa said nothing. She said something, according to her words. She said that she spoke to her, or she confided in those who were close to her. She said something. The question is what was done about what she said. It's not a case about she said nothing for 10 or 20 or 30 years. She, according to her report, she said something. Do you understand me? Y'all stop this nonsense. Stop saying the girl said nothing. She, according to her report, if you're dealing with what you want to keep in front of me all the time, she said that she told people. She didn't tell Gomes to tell anybody. We need to find out whether Gomes is one who was there or whether he heard it from someone she told. Because if ever Gomes is not present and somebody that Vanessa confided in told Gomes, then there's another story. Because you all need to understand who you confide in and what. And about what you tell people. So if we have a case in which she, according to her report, told someone, then she said something. She didn't tell the police, but she told people. The question is, what did the people do? Did they encourage her to go to speak to the law enforcement? Did they encourage her to speak to senior officials in the PNC? Did they encourage her to just stay quiet because in his Norton, you know, nobody can believe you? What did they encourage her to do? Okay? What did you tell the people? And what did they do about what you told them? That is my concern. Because if people come to me to say, if anybody comes to me to say that Norton or Jagdio or Irfan or Darmlal ask them a question like that, and we have a meeting, and it's more than one of us is talking to, I'll be the first to tell you, well, we have to deal with this situation. Because Darmlal or anybody can't tell you that they're going to rape you. And you just be quiet about it. Let's go deal with this. That's what I will do. And if the person says, no, I don't want to do anything about it, let's leave it alone, that's you as a female saying you don't want to deal with it. And I will still encourage you to say, no, we need to have this dealt with. That's what I would do. And I will commit, as you all know me, I'll commit my life to protecting you while we deal with that sucker. That's what I would do. But what I would never do is I would not come out of that environment and go and tell people, oh, she told me that this man did it. No, I would never do that. Because you're gone barking up a different tree when you do that, especially as a man. Men don't do that to women. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your time. I appreciate your time, and I hope that you act differently. Party interest should never supersede people's well-being. Y'all don't do that. Don't do it. None of you were present, so you don't have the ability to say what happened and what didn't happen. Don't do it. If they both want us to know exactly what happened, then they both know exactly what they ought to do. Just bring in the lie detector. And let's kill this situation. And whoever doesn't want to take the test, you're 100% guilty. That's my policy. It's simple for me. And you don't have to wait till after Congress. Don't try to strategy with me, Norton. Do it now. Bring in you all have money to do it. Bring it in now. Come tell Vanessa and Sharman, whoever else it is, you challenge them now for your to take a lie detector test because you're not playing with your reputation. That's what you do as a man of strength and caliber. Or, in certain situations, if I'm aware that people just want to be nasty, stinking, stupid with me, I wouldn't even give you life and time to, I would ignore you as if you don't even exist. Because there's certain things you don't bring yourself down to address. Others you have to address. You could decide what it is with you. You don't come down to certain levels to address people. Y'all do well. Take care.